I don't like hearing about how the 85 Bears built. Like, I don't want to talk about the 85 Bears anymore, man. I was 2 months old when they won a Super Bowl. Great. I'm sure it was fun for all of you that were old enough to see it.
It was.
I didn't get to see it. I do not care about the 85 Bears anymore. He also brings.
Well, do you know what draft he's talking about? Because for the 85 Bears, because it was 83 the draft. They picked Jimbo Covert 6 overall, which is 3 ahead of number 9. They took Willie Gault 18. All right, so they had 2 picks in the first round. Second round, they took Mike Richardson. I'm L.A. Mike. I played cool. They don't get by me because I'm no fool. Fly on the field, get on down. All right, that was their second round pick. Third round pick, 22, Dave Duerson. Fourth round, Tom Thayer. Eighth round, Richard Dent and Mark Bortz. Hall of Famer and a hell of a guard. All right?
A Hall of Famer in a round that doesn't exist anymore.
Right, exactly. And that basically covers it. So they got Bortz and Thayer, your starting center and your starting guard, and your starting left tackle, 3/5 of their offensive line. They got their top wide receiver. They got their top cornerback. They got one of their 2 safeties, and they got the MVP of the Super Bowl. All in one draft.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 starters. So I like that he's referencing 1985 because I was alive and I did enjoy it and it was amazing.
I'm sure
but there is a 0% chance that they do that again.
Well,
0.
And the whole so just on the most general terms, yes, building through the draft smart, but. I'm not signing off on passing on the quarterback. I've made no secret here that I believe that is the best direction for this franchise. They need to draft Caleb Williams. And, to me, passing on the quarterback in a quarterback-driven league, it's a much different league than it was in 1985. They cannot pass on this guy.
Well, hold on. Let me just make a point on that because it's really interesting when you consider what the Bears could get from this draft, right? Let's say they do the trade back and they get all the picks. Let's even say they hit the home run of home runs and do 83 again, all right? In 1983, the 1983 NFL draft, do you know what quarterbacks were in that draft, Greg Braggs?
Dan Marino.
Okay. Well, let me. It's one
Marino.
of the most famous drafts in the history of the sport because John Elway was taken 1 overall. Okay, we couldn't have had him. Fair enough.
Took him 20 years to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, he sucked. He was terrible. And then after Elway, other quarterbacks that were taken in that draft, Jim Kelly was 14. Okay. Todd Blackledge, by the way, in Kansas City, the Chiefs was taken 1 pick after Covert. So, by the way, you can't ever get a quarterback right in Kansas City until they did. So that's a little part of the conversation, too. And then Tony Eason went 15th to the Patriots, who we kicked his ass in the Super Bowl. And then there was a...
Wait, is this not the Marino draft?
This is the Marino draft.
Okay.
Marino doesn't go till later. Don't worry, we'll get there.
What are these teams thinking?
Yeah, exactly right.
Dan Marino.
Yeah. Ken O'Brien went to the Jets, 24. Ken O'Brien threw for 25,000 yards in his career. It's he wasn't exactly a slouch. And then, yes, 27th overall, Dan Marino, 61,000 plus yards. And if you talk to Bears players, had they had Marino instead of McMahon, who the Bears drafted in 82, had they had Marino with that defense, how many Super Bowls would have won?
6.
Right.
17.
3, 6, 12, whatever the frick it would have been. Now, you wouldn't have had Jimbo Covert or you wouldn't have had Willie Gault, but you would have had the quarterback. So you wouldn't have had Richard Dent. I mean, it's not how it worked out. You could have had all those guys and had Marino if they had gotten it right. You would just have had to have not taken Willie Gault. You, in essence, would have passed on Gault for Marino, and then you would have won 14,000 Super Bowls. So they could have done that. But the point is that they missed on the QB, and they got everything else.
We all silly like the mayor.